Hello there once again, Tech Africa family. My name is Daniel Itai Mutsunge. I want to welcome you to another Tech Africa YouTube and Facebook edition where we shall be talking about the compressor range called TechAir. I hope you're keeping safe during this COVID-19 pandemic era. I hope you're observing the WHO regulations. Make sure that you sanitize your hands all the time. Keep on wearing face masks and also maintain social distancing. So those are the only precautions that can keep you and me safe. So today I want to go through the Tech Africa compressor range, and this range is a brand called TechAir, courtesy serviced and supplied by Tech Africa, the only company supplying the region with quality domestic, industrial, mining and agricultural equipment. So today I want to just run you through some of the ranges that are available and also some of the general maintenances, the main components of the compressors, the warranty speculations, and also just the general warning on how you must be careful on running these compressors. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the differences between the direct drive and the belt drive compressors. So when we talk about direct drive, most of the time direct drive compressors are basically your DIY range in which you can do it yourself at home. You can use the compressors in your garage and you can use air tools that are compatible with the direct drives. So when I talk about direct drive compressors, what I'm trying to say is the motor and the pump, they are connected together. So this is your pump and your motor is inside this cover. So it becomes a direct drive. Whereas a belt drive, we are talking of a compressor that has got a motor separately installed from your pump. So how does this thing work? A belt is connected to the motor pulley and to the pump pulley. Then the motor then drives the pump in order for you to be able to use the compressor. So that's the difference between the two, belt drive and a direct drive. So the first thing that I want to try and maybe run you through are the main components that you find on a compressor. So first of all, you've got this is what you call a pressure switch. This is what you call a pressure switch. This is where all the configurations on the compressor are installed. And this is how you tend to switch on your compressor and switch it off. This is your pressure regulating valve. This is your outlet where your air comes out from your compressor. And this is your main compressor tank. This is where the air is received. And here we are talking of, this is your electrical cover where your capacitor and where your overload switch is located. This is what you call the pressure gauges. And this is your main compressor line. This is where your line takes air into the tank. And this is where you find your motor. This is your motor, this is your pump, these are your cylinders. As you can see, this compressor has got two cylinders. It's got a two-cylinder, it's a two-cylinder compressor. This is your air filter. And these are all your other air lines. And this is your breather plug. So as the compressor pumps, it tends to release air within the compression chamber, and it releases it through this breather plug. So ladies and gentlemen, I just thought of running through these components, and without forgetting, I just want to also show you there's one that you call a safety valve, which is located here. In case your pressure gauge doesn't regulate or cuts out when the pressure is full within the tank, you might face challenges where even your tank can actually explode or crack if it's overfilled with air. So when you notice some incidences like that, you are then to pull the safety valve to try and release the air that is within your tank. So I think that is all about the main components. I shall be running through some of the components as we go. So moving on to the general warning that you're supposed to take precaution on, make sure that you don't attempt to modify the compressor. This compressor, it is made after being seriously studied, and all the raw materials, they are actually conducted research, and also the strength, durabilities, all of the ISO standards that you might think of when making a machine. So we highly recommend that you do not attempt to modify the compressor as it is already assembled, and please don't ever attempt to change the setup of the compressor to meet your requirement. If you are to require something, you have to come to us, then we can always assist you and make your life easier according to your expectations and your standards. Also, there are air tools that are used with these compressors. These air tools, most of the times, they are very dangerous tools, because you find you've got your ratchets, your impact wrenches, you've got your spray guns, you've got your angle grinder, you've got your drills, you've got your washing guns, you've got your sand blasters. All these air tools are very dangerous, and you need to protect yourself from injuring yourself. How do you protect yourself? Make sure you put on the relevant gear, your overalls or your work suits, your goggles, your earmuffs, you put on your gloves, so that you avoid any degree of injury when operating this compressor and the air tools. The other thing is, make sure that your output pressure that your air tool requires is what the compressor is producing at that particular time when you're using the compressor. How do you make sure that the output pressure meets the air tool requirement? This is why you've got your regulating valve here. You can actually adjust the amount of pressure that is coming out of your compressor in order to meet the air tool that you are using. Also, you need to check the output pressure. How do you check the output pressure? Most of these compressors, they are rated 7 bars of pressure and maximum 8 bars. And this, you can actually see it through your pressure gauges. So as your compressor fills up, it should cut out at about 8 bars of pressure on your pressure gauge. So as soon as your pressure gauge gets to 8 bars, the compressor automatically cuts. And I can safely tell you that this has been tested and tried. Every bar of pressure that you're getting within a compressor takes about 1 minute to fill up your tank. So if your tank is about 24 liter, we're expecting your 24 liter tank to fill up within 2.5 minutes in terms of timing. So make sure that your output pressure is always correct. It's your compressor cuts out at 8 bars, and it switches on when your gauge gets up to 6 bars. And also, you should know that repairs are only conducted by qualified technicians. Make sure that you just don't go on the side of the road and to meet someone who pretends, or someone who says he or she can repair compressors. I urge you to take your compressor here to Tech Africa. We've got a workshop on site. We are happy to assist you in any way that we might assist you, whether it's warranty or the product is out of warranty, but we offer a warranty period of 12 months, or after the warranty period, we also do a product service follow-up. So make sure that almost all the time you get your compressor repaired by a qualified technician who happens to be a Tech Africa technician, because this is a Tech Africa brand. We pride ourselves in making sure that the things are done rightly and your machine is fixed correctly. Most of the times we've got a problem where customers abuse the power cables. So this is your power cable. We supply these compressors with a 3-pin round plug, and this is a 15 amp plug. Most people, just because here in Zimbabwe, we do use the square type. They cut these round plugs and they install the square types. But ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to look for 15 amp round adapters, or you can have your electrician install a 15 amp round socket on the walls so that you can be able to use this compressor. So most of the times people abuse, they use 13 amp plugs. The problem there, the motor heats up, it burns out, or the compressor trips. So we want to try and avoid all those kind of scenarios where you then have problems with your machine. And also this compressor has got what you call an overload switch. So most of the times when there's a problem, your compressor trips or your compressor stops running, you try to switch it on and off, it's not responding. This is what you call an overload switch. This protects the compressor at any given time in case the motor is heat up or there can be a problem inside. This thing will trip. But what you have to do is most of the times try to reset this button, this overload switch. You try to reset it. You push it in order for you to start. And if you see your compressor not starting, then you need to seek for consultation from a qualified technician why the compressor is not running. Then maintenance wise, before you do or you conduct any maintenance on these compressors, we urge you to stop the compressor from running, disconnect your compressor from your mains, and just make sure that the compressor is out of air within the tank so that you can carry out your maintenance. So we've got 4 categories of maintenance that I would want to tell you to do all the time when you own a Tech Africa compressor, because this is very important. For you to have a longer shelf life of these compressors, you also need to take care of the compressor. So we've got number 1, it's called a daily maintenance. You need to check oil. How do you check? So this is your oil level indicator. So most of the times, as you can see, that this oil indicator has got a red dot on the middle. Make sure that your oil does not pass over, or it's not filled over that red indicator. It should be on the half line, so that at least when your compressor is pumping, the compressor will also have a breathing space in order to let out all the air that is not needed within your pump section. And number 2, you need to drain the condensation, the condensed air which is turned into water as your compressor is running from the air receiver, which is your air tank. So here underneath we've got what you call a drain plug. As you can see, this drain plug, if you undo it, you would find that all your water which is settling underneath your tank is drained out on this point. And also you need to make sure that when you return this drain cork, you must make sure that you do not cross thread it. Make sure that you return it back and screw it back nicely so that your compressor won't have any leaks as you operate it. And number 3, you must always check for any air leaks. Make sure that all your valves are closed nicely and all your pipes are tightened, your pressure gauges are tightened nicely, all your return pipes and everything is always tightened so that you won't have any air leaks within your compressors. And then also moving on to another maintenance category, you now need to do a weekly check. What do you do on a weekly check? On a weekly check, we encourage you to remove your air filter. This is your air filter. You just check if everything is 100% okay in terms of, is it dirty, does it need to be blown, what does it need to be done. You take a star screwdriver, you remove this cover, check the internal filter if it needs to be cleaned or what it needs to be done. Then you put back your air filter. So that is one of the weekly checks that you need to conduct as you run your maintenance checks. And also moving to the third maintenance category, we come to a monthly check. What do you do on a monthly check? We encourage you to inspect your non-return valve. This is what you call your non-return valve. You need to undo there and undo there and check if your non-return valve is clogged with water. Is it clogged with dirt or anything that might clog it up? So just check your non-return valve and inspect it. After you inspect it, you can return it back. If it needs replacement, you need to replace it. We've got the non-return valves in stock, and we can sell it to you at a very, very affordable price. Also, make sure that when you engage all this inspection, your tank must be out of air. You must drain all the air out. Make sure that it is empty. And also, you need to do a manual test and check on your safety valve. Like this is your manual safety valve. Make sure that when you pull it, it works and everything is 100%. Then the fourth maintenance category is a 3 months check. You need to change your oil after 3 months. You need to tighten all your bolts, and also you need to inspect and check your non-return valves just to make sure that everything is intact so that you can always have the compressor working all the time. So running on the last points, I want to talk about the warranty. So the warranty covers the original purchase, that is to the final user of the compressor, and the warranty is also conditional because there are terms and conditions that apply to these compressors. Obviously, we are talking about the issue of do not tamper around with the machine within the warranty period. Don't get it fixed with any other person that is not a qualified Tech Africa technician or a Tech Africa recommended agent to look at your compressor. And also, if you do that, the compressor is still under warranty. If any part goes wrong, or if the compressor goes wrong, or if it dies, we are happy to fix it for free for you, or to replace the worn out part or the faulty part so that you will remain a happy Tech Africa customer. Also, on these compressor ranges, they range from a 1 horsepower to a 4 horsepower, from a 24 liter to a 200 liter. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this session has been of benefit to you. I look forward to seeing you again in the next Tech Africa YouTube and Facebook video training edition. This is goodbye from me for now. I shall see you in the next edition. God bless you.